Okay, let's talk about website OSINT. And you pretty much guessed it. We're going to jump right back into the VM. Now, I've got a bunch of different things that I want to show you here. So, for website OSINT, I did mention before that there was a tool that I really liked, and that tool is called Wappalizer. So, we do Wappallyzer, like that. There is a browser extension for Firefox. So if you scroll down just a little bit, there will be an add-ons for Firefox. We're going to do this and just click here. And all we have to do is click add to Firefox. And then it should show up right here where it says, hey, you need to add. All right, let's add it. And then it appears over here. So why is this tool so great? Well, let's go to Tesla.com. Why not? And we'll take a look at Tesla. So remember, we had the built with. We ran built with before. We were able to identify some website architecture, frameworks, etc. If you come here now, all we have to do is have the click of a button. We accept that. And then remember where we said, hey, Tesla's built on Drupal, and it's probably known from the headers. Look, it's identifying CMS Drupal. Programming language, PHP, that was in the headers as well. So it's identifying that. There's information in here that could be of use to us, especially if we're just trying to footprint this website. We can also come to just look at another website. We'll do tcmsec.com, go through this and see what shows up here. I'm expecting to see WordPress. I'm expecting to see Divi. I'm expecting to see quite a bit. Let's see what actually shows up. So, yep, CMS is WordPress. It picked that up pretty quick. The Lightspeed server, we identified that from the server header. Blog is WordPress as well, PHP. I'm running reCAPTCHA for some security. And it's just going through. It says, hey, look, this is running on jQuery. This is running on Bootstrap. There's a bunch of information here that could be of use, and it's picking up a MySQL database as well. So again, this is just another way to footprint a website. There's also a tool, I don't really want to show it to you. Not that I don't want to, it's just redundant, but there's a tool called WhatWeb. Sometimes it's built in. It's not even built in here, but there's a tool called WhatWeb that you can install that would do something very similar from the command line. But I honestly, Wappalizer is the way to go, in my opinion. It's just click, point. It's super easy, right? So I really like this. The other thing that I want to show you are a few different tools that we're going to utilize, and these are very important to follow along with because we're going to utilize these again when we get to the automating section. So go ahead, and one of the tools is already built in. So remember when we ran the who is and we went through all those websites and looked at different things. You could do that from a command line in Linux. Let me make this a little bigger, but you can just say who is. And then we could just say tcm-sec.com, just like this. And guess what? If you scroll through, it looks pretty familiar, right? We have the registrant admin information. If we scroll up just a little bit, let's see. Here, we've got even more data. So this is very, very easy to do just by running a who is. You can see the data that's coming back. When does the domain expire? Who is the name servers here? I'm not going to repeat what the who is, but you can quickly identify information in regards to who is from a command line. You don't have to go out to the web if you don't need to. So that's nice. The other side of this, I want to download a few tools. So let's go ahead and go to Google. And from Google, I'm going to give you the tools that I want you to download. So the first one we're going to download is, we're just going to go to GitHub, and we're going to say HTTProbe, like this, HTTP probe. Go ahead and open that one. We're going to download a tool called AMAS. So just type in AMAS, like this. Go ahead and open that one. We're going to download a tool called Subfinder. So go ahead and open that one. We're going to download a tool called Asset Finder. And I will explain what all of these mean very, very shortly. Go ahead and open that one. And then last tool we're going to download called Go Witness. You can just click on this one. Okay, now before we go and install these, I want to clarify something first. We have Go installed on our machine, and all of these tools are written in Go. So what we need to do before we actually do the install is we need to make a slight modification that will get these to download, install, and work on their first go. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in nano. And if you're sudo, type in sudo nano. Go ahead and then type in something like this, .bash rc, just like this, okay? Now, I'm going to put this here into the resources as code. However, pause now and type this out. This little bottom part here. Export go path equals $home/go. Go root is equal to /user lib go. And then this right here. Again, I will copy and paste this, or you can copy and paste this from the resources below the video if that's easier for you. Otherwise, you can just type this out. So go ahead now, do that, pause if you need to, and then come back. All right, so from here, I'm going to Control X to exit. You'll hit yes if you want to save. You'll hit Y to save and hit enter. From here, though, what we're going to do is we're going to just type in source, and I'm going to source this. So say bash rc. All right, and now that means we have enabled what we just changed, okay? So now we're going to come through and we're just going to do our installs. Let's actually wait for Go Witness. We're going to make Go Witness last. Let's just go through and do the rest of these. So if you scroll through most of these, let me make this bigger. If you scroll through most of these have an install right here where you just say go get, okay? So you just copy this, paste it into here, and hit enter. And it should be pretty quick for most of them. Now, once you do that, you should be able to type HTTP probe right there, and it should work. You should be able to auto tab complete that. Okay, if it's not working after you've installed it, you may need to restart your computer or your machine here. You can just do that from the upper right. Go ahead and just say restart. But from now, let's go ahead and install all of these, and then we'll go ahead and if you're not doing that, you can just restart from here. But so scroll down, same thing. If you look at AMAS, come down here to the from sources. For this one, you're going to need to put in export go 111 module. So you'll copy this first, paste that in as a selection, hit enter. I've already installed all these tools, so I'm not going to reinstall all of them. But you're going to come into here, go ahead and then paste this just like this. All right, and you'll install that as well. This one might take a minute to install. So what I want you to do at this point is I want you to go through all of these and install them. The one that might be tricky, let me make sure, all of these should have the install in here. So install again, if you scroll down, this from source right here for SubFinder, you would just copy this and paste into here and hit enter. On Asset Finder, it's straightforward again, go get, hit enter into here, paste and hit enter. On Go Witness, if you scroll down just a bit and we go into the documentation for installation information, you would just click here, come in and click on installation, and it will give you the go get right here. So this is exactly what you would need to do. Go copy, paste, install all of these. Once you have them all installed, then we'll walk through some of these and just talk through the process. So again, if you need to pause the video here, go ahead and do that. Again, it's imperative that you do this because we're going to be building a tool off of this later. So go ahead, do that. I'm going to pause and then we're back. Okay, so now from here, let's walk through some of these tools and what they do. Now, we have a few that are fairly straightforward and easy to run. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you them kind of in order. So the first one is SubFinder, and these are all meant to find subdomains or assets. So if we look at SubFinder, we just type in SubFinder, and we could do a -D for domain, and then we can just say something like tcm-sec.com. I'll do my domain because it'll be quick and easy, and then it'll just come through here and it will try to enumerate any sort of subdomains that we have. So it said it found 10 subdomains for us. The www academy, then again www.academy. So it's going through and just trying to find these different subdomains. That's great, and we can see that we have some subdomains found, 10 here, but other tools tend to find other subdomains. So let's try running Asset Finder really quick. So if we run Asset Finder and we just say, we'll just do tcm-sec.com like this. And what it does is it comes out and it tries to find any relationships that there might be to TCM-sec and find TCM-sec as well. So I find it best to actually just pipe this and say grep and then grep back on the same argument. So tcmsec.com, hit enter here. And now you can see we discovered quite a few. Some of these look like they could be repeats, so we might even have to, we could take this a step further and just say sort unique. Okay, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we found one different than what we didn't find before. And this is a really quick tool to find different assets. Like if we looked at Asset Finder and we said Tesla, I mean, just look at the massive amounts of Tesla that could be out there. Remember, we were looking at, we were looking for admin panels and different things, and we can do something similar like Asset Finder Tesla. We'll do tesla.com, and then let's just pipe this to a file. We'll put this to tesla.txt real quick, and that should be pretty quick. Oh, I didn't put grep here. So we say grep, put that, that'll take a second. If we cat out tesla.txt, now we can start searching for, first of all, we'll have that. Now we can start searching. We can just do like a grep ADM for admin, nothing there. Grep for dev. Okay, and now you see SSO, MFA, API Firebolt. We can grep for API. So different, here's all the different APIs that we have. So this is a nice way to have a list of potential assets for us to come through and find them and then just easily sort through them with the grep command. So I really, really, really like this, and this is really easily automated as well. So anyway, another tool that I want to show you is called AMAS. So let's just do AMAS like this. And what it does, this is a very powerful tool, by the way. This is just one aspect of it, but we can use the enumeration feature to do a -d for domain. And we'll just do it back on TCM-sec. I use all of these tools because they find different subdomains. No one tool is perfect. And there's a million tools for finding subdomains, by the way. You can use Shodan for finding subdomains. You can use GitHub for finding subdomains. There's a whole lot of options out there. And I almost find it best to use little bits and pieces of every one and then kind of combine them into one file and then sort it and figure out which ones are duplicates and then find out what's alive. Now, AMAS here will take quite a bit of time to run depending on the size of the domain we're enumerating. That's why I like to use mine here to see if it can figure out quickly that it's not a big domain, and it's going to try to look for any subdomains. But AMAS has the capability to find subdomains, especially that the rest of the tools can't find. So I do appreciate that about AMAS. But from here, we're just going to let this run. You can see it found TCM-sec. It found academy.tcm-sec. So it's finding some subdomains as it's going through. I don't expect it to find a bunch. So with that being said, what happens if we find these subdomains? Let me open a new tab while this is running. Now we had that tesla.txt that I just put out, right? Tesla.txt. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of these subdomains, but we don't know what subdomains are actually alive or what aren't alive. So one thing that I like to run is I like to say, hey, I'm going to cat out tesla.text. And then what I'm going to do, we can sort it by unique. And then we can come in here and we can say something like HTT probe like this. And what this is going to do is check and see if this is alive or not. So we're going to see if the endpoint is alive. So I'm actually going to limit this specifically to a port of 443. So we're just going to look at HTTPS for right now. Not saying that you shouldn't look at port 80, but just to limit this to one port in a quick, easy scan, we're just going to go ahead and do this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit enter, and now it's going to search through everything. Anything that comes back is a website or asset that is alive. Okay, these are alive assets. Now, this is interesting because now I can come out here and just try to go to one of these. And maybe now that I have these alive ones, I can put these to a file and then start going and grepping on them and saying, okay, are there live API endpoints? Are there live dev endpoints? And we can really get deep in the website enumeration process and website OSINT process to find potential additional data here. So there's a lot that we can do. This is going to take a little bit to run, but it's fairly quick depending on the size of the tools that you have. And this one, again, it's going to take a while to run here. It's finding more of these subdomains, but we're going to build a tool off of all these to kind of hunt down the subdomains, find what's alive, and go from there. There's one other tool that I want to show you that I think makes the whole process complete when it comes to looking at this stuff. And that tool is Go Witness. So we just went through all of these. I'm going to take a small chunk. Let's take from here to here. And we'll just copy this. By the way, Tesla Tequila came out and it was sold out before I could even see it, but I don't even know. Let's go to this. I'm getting sidetracked. Oh, it's not here. Okay. It did come out. They had a really neat, that was HTTP for some reason. They had a really neat bottle let's see if it's here. That was awesome. This bottle is gorgeous, by the way. Sidetrack. I love Tesla. Anyway, that's all. Okay, let's go ahead and let's just type in Nano real quick, and we'll just say alive.txt. I'm going to paste this into here. And then from here, I'm going to Control X, hit Y to save, hit Enter. Okay, so now we have alive.txt. Now what we can do is we can run a tool called Go Witness. So let's go ahead and make a new directory. I'm going to make a directory and just call it pictures or pics. This will just be easier for us. And then we're going to run this Go Witness. We're going to say Go Witness. We're going to say file, and then we're going to prefix the HTTPS. Actually, we're going to need to make one change to our file here. So prefix HTTPS, and this will be easier done. Let's go ahead and just open a folder. And we should be in root here, or your home folder. Go ahead and open your alive.txt. What we can do, and I'll show you how to get rid of this at a later time, but if we can do search, find, or find and replace, Control R, it's usually Control H, but Control R. If you do HTTP and then replace all in document here, okay? So then replace all, and then HTTPS, and then we'll do 443 as well. We're going to strip this completely. All right, so just like that. And then now we can save this as is. We'll write out code to actually strip this and automate this process as well. So let's say that we have these alive. Actually, the old syntax is prefix HTTPS. We can get rid of that nowadays. There's new syntax. This changes all the time, I swear. So come in here and just say file, and we'll just do a -F. We'll call out the alive.txt like this. We'll do a -P, and we're going to give this a screenshot path. So we're just going to say pics like that. And then from here, we can just go ahead and do a -- no HTTP. So we're only going to run on HTTPS and not HTTP. We're going to go ahead and give this a go. And now you can see stuff's happening. It's going in. It's trying to access pages. Anything that has a 200, it's accessing. This one's a 404. So we might not be able to access this. Let's see if the 404 is for us. Oh, we should still get a picture of this though. So let's go ahead and look at the pictures coming through. So if we go into our pics here, we can just kind of open this up. I'm going to open it up with this image viewer. And then it doesn't always load the page incredibly fast or fast enough for us to get the picture, but you can have an idea as to kind of what's here. So we can go and take a bunch of screenshots really fast and not have to navigate to all of these different pages. So like here's an employee or vendor real estate. There's definitely different things in here that could be of interest. So you just want to kind of click through and see, in this way you can see the pages really fast. You can automate this entire process, which is what we're going to do. Find a bunch of subdomains, see what's out there, and then take screenshots out of all of them. I think it's super cool. I actually use this a lot in my own automation process. I've got a much bigger tool built out, but the same concept and same ideas there. And when we get to the automation process, we'll talk about all of that. So that's it. Hopefully this was useful for you. This is a lot of detail that could go into enumerating websites without even really having to interact with them that much. So that is it. I will see you over in the next video.